So I'm gonna be honest here, guys. Most people are self-sabotaging and they don't even know it. Now I'm gonna start it off with a quick story and a little bit of background. So back in high school, I was one of those students who didn't have the best grades. They didn't have the best attendance. They didn't really try in school. The grades was absolutely terrible. I was one of those kids that because 65 was the grade you needed at least to pass, I made sure okay, at least get a 65. Like don't fail and get left back and not have credits. At least get a 65 so you at least get your degree. Because I had that ideology of like, if I have a 4.0 GPA, or if I have, I don't know, a 3.0 GPA, 2.7 GPA, we're all going to get the same degree, which is going to allow us to get the same college degree, which is going to allow us to get the same job. I already understood that a difference in GPA doesn't change, no difference in the degree, right? If someone had a 4.0 GPA and they try to get a construction job, they're still going to get paid $15 an hour compared to someone who has a 2.7 GPA and have the same high school degree. So I already knew that. But there's something I want to show that's a little bit underlying to that, and that a lot of people are self-sabotaging, they don't even know it. And I was self-sabotaging back then and I didn't even know it. And I'll tell you in a little bit of a framework. It was self-sabotaging out of a fear of failure. Now, before we even get really deep into that, I want to show you guys something that I'm going to talk about when it comes to peaks and troughs. And we're going to talk about that a little bit later. And we're going to talk about this a little bit later too. And it's all going to connect together. So I need you to listen to every exact word I'm going to be saying. And I need you to listen carefully or none of it's going to make sense, right? So let's get straight into it, right? So let's say you take one path, right? The green path. The green path, you're going very hard on this test. You're going to do a bunch of studying. You're staying back after class. You're doing all this like stuff to really get this grade. And you're going really hard. You expect yourself to get at least a 90, right? And then it turns around and you get like a 77 or something like that, right? And now you're a bit upset, right? Because you put all this work in, you put all this attention, you put all this time in, and you didn't get the output you expected. Then there's another path where you just don't try. You don't study, you don't care, you put no effort, you're like, whatever, you're like, I'm gonna wing it, F it, I'm gonna procrastinate, I'm gonna wait till the last minute. And let's say you get a 67. Now you have the opportunity to be like, well, I didn't really try. I didn't really care. I didn't care about it like that. And I realized after doing some introspection and after dissecting what I was doing was I realized that was kind of a bit of a fear of failure, a fear of failing, right? In moments, I've had moments where I tried really, really hard to get something. I put a whole bunch of effort, time, money, energy, whatever the case may be, and then it failed and it made me extremely mad. It made me upset, right? Compared to if you be like, oh, I don't really care, and you give no much effort to it and you don't really worry about it, um, that is kind of self-sabotaging out of fear of failure because you don't want to feel like a failure. You can't fail if you don't take the leap. You can't fail if you don't take the risk. So if you stay in the same comfortable point, that is a part of staying in the point due to fear of failure. But it's something I want to get a little bit more deeper into that, right? And here's what people are, and here's where the goal is, the lifestyle, the girl. And I want a lot of men to understand this. And you probably did. When you was in high school, there's a female you had a crush on, and you started overthinking it. You started playing scenarios in your head. You started playing, but every dude know you play scenarios in your head before you go up to a girl, before you talk to them, you start playing scenarios. You start overthinking it, overanalyzing, right? This is the female you have a crush on. But then it came to the female that you did not have a crush on, you did not care about like that. You act pretty normal, right? And it's something that I really want to make sense in this framework and in this little quick tutorial about this new quote that I came up is that you have to be before you become. So boom, like I said, the girl, the lifestyle, the goal, wherever the kids may be, people are putting you on a pedestal and they're overanalyzing, overthinking, and they're making themselves become stuck due to the fear of failure, right? That's why, bro, it's crazy because like middle school, high school, bro, dudes had like crushes for 2 years and never, bro, dudes would have crushes, bro, in high school and middle school for 2 years and never make a move because they put them on a pedestal. Compared to if it's a female that they had no interest in, they act normal, be a little bit laid back, and they'll not really care about that. And there's something deeper I want to get into this framework and a bit of this tutorial, and it comes to peaks and troughs and why people self-sabotage. Um, I would recommend people to listen to an audiobook called The Mountain Is You, or just read the book. Now, I didn't read the whole book, but after listening to it, I realized, bro, like there's self-sabotaging everywhere. And there's something interesting that I always said. I ask people like, what will motivate you more? The the what will motivate you more? The potentially getting pleasure or being able to avoid pain? Like what motivates you more, the avoidance of pain or the pursuit of pleasure, right? And the analogy I put in is if you was going to let's say you're a college student, right? What will motivate you more? The fact that if you don't hand in your paper by 12 a.m., you're gonna fail, or if you hand it in early, people's gonna be like, "Oh wow, you handed in early." Most likely, the thing that's gonna really motivate you is that pain. It's the trough. It's the lower level of your part, and it gets a little bit more deeper because right? If you don't hand it in by 12 a.m., that means you'll fail the assignment, which means you'll fail the class, which means you could lose out on money that you paid for it. Like the pain gets a little bit more deeper, right? It even comes to when it comes to going to school. What's going to make a kid that has to get up at 5 a.m., 6 a.m., go to school, go to work, where the kids may be. It's not that like, oh, if I get up now, I can be early. It's like, oh shit, I have 15 minutes left to get ready. Oh shit, I have 30 minutes to get left to get ready. And that is the troughs. That's the lower level um, when it comes to people, mindset, whatever the case may be. And there's this amazing quote says that we do not rise to our goals, we fall to the levels of our standards. And I want to say definitely that one moment in my life in 2022, once I rose, once I raised my standards, my life completely changed. Everything I was doing differently. Like I changed the standard for how my room looks. I changed the standard for how I look. I changed the standard for how my bathroom looks. I changed the standard for how my environment looks, how I look, how anything. I changed my standards and I increased them. And I realized that I changed. And there is something that happens to entrepreneurs or people that get very successful quickly, or they get success to where they get themselves back to their troughs. They self sabotage. You ever heard someone say, and a lot of people do this, you ever heard someone say, yo, bro, things are going too good. I know something bad is going to happen. Bro, so much people struggle with this. Bro, things are going so good. And people be like, bro, something bad is going to happen, right? It happens in relationships. He was like, yo, bro, things are going too good. Something bad is going to happen. It happens with success. It happens with money. It happens with work, with jobs, career. People have a mindset that when things are going too good, they're like, bro, something bad is going to happen. And this is their peak. This is right here. And this is where they're at when they're like, yo, bro, something bad is going to happen. And now they're bracing themselves for something bad that happens. And then sometimes they actually self sabotage without even knowing it, to bring them back here where they feel a little bit more comfortable. And then they're like, oh shit, why is bad things always happening to me? Why bad things always happening? Bad things always happening. And more bad shit start happening. And then they go to their trough where they're at the lower level. And we all know the lower level. When you're at your rock bottom, you're at the bottom of your life, like a whole bunch of bullshit going on. And you're like, bro, the only way to go is up, right? I'm gonna come back from this. I'm gonna get better. I'm gonna fix this relationship. I'm gonna get better with my boss. I'm gonna get better with my career. I'm gonna get better with all these other things. I'm gonna start. This is where people are like, yo, I'm gonna start losing weight. I'm gonna start making more money. I'm gonna start saving more money. And then start going back up, and then it's just like this whole level of self sabotaging, right? They have this base level of their standard. They start to work their way up. They realize they want better. They get better. And they're like, bro, things are going way too good. Something bad's going to happen. And it just manifests something bad happening, or they create it by having this brace moment. And then it goes back to the trough. And this, I can see this happening in so much ways that I've seen happen with other people and I've seen happen with me. But the thing is, right? I showed you a problem. I showed you that the levels of how people self-sabotage. I showed you the peaks and the troughs, that increasing your standards. Because even just like this, right? Here's another way of how increasing your standards will allow you to have a better life. Look at it as your job. A lot of people that may watch this video, you work a retail job, you work as a cashier, you work at a warehouse, you work at some entry level job that's paying you, I guess, low, that doesn't require a degree, whatever the case may be, right? And I want you to understand that you are working based off your standard. And I'll tell you just like this, right? When I was working at Amazon, we had a goal. You had to do 250 stow rate. So that means you had to scan and put in 250 items an hour. Now just think about that, how much money they're already making from you doing that. But whatever, right? That was the goal. But they also had a standard. If you went too low, like you'll get like written up for it type stuff, right? And we all know as employees, people that work 9 to 5s, we all know, like, bro, whether I work hard or I don't work hard, whether I go hard or whether I be a try hard, we're all going to get paid the same amount every week, unless you work in sales and you have a composition, a performance package, whatever the case may be. But most people are base salary. Most people are paid hourly. Whether they work hard or not, they're going to get paid the same amount of money every week. And I say that to say is that people are going to just work, people that are going to work just to do good enough to get by, they're going to just do good enough to the standard. But if you raise the standard, how can I explain this? Okay, let's say like this, right? Because this analogy is literally overpowerful, right? Let's say like this. Let's say there's a kid and all he wants to do is just get his high school degree. He's like, yo, bro, I don't care if I have a 99. I don't care if I get an 87 on my grade. I don't care what grade I get, as long as I get my high school degree. If you tell him, okay, all you have to do is get a 65 on all your classes, you get a high school degree. He will work hard enough to get that 65 on all his classes. But if you turn around, I guarantee, if you turn around and you tell that same kid, you know what? You have to get a 75 on all your classes to get your high school degree. He will work harder because the standard has been raised. And this is how I'm just trying to show you that raising your standards will allow you to stop self-sabotaging. Raising your standards will also allow you to attract people with more higher standards, because in order to attract, in order to be, well, being uh, having a high standard for yourself and being that will also allow you to attract that as well. Um, and man, there's a whole bunch of mental models that I want to teach you guys when it comes to breaking through and having more clarity when it comes to making decisions. There's 33 frameworks, 11 mental modules, and multiple things that I want to teach you guys, and absolutely for free. All you have to do is click the link down below. You will be into a landing page where you learn about fixing your GLC. Now, a lot of people are unsuccessful and they go through these bad phases in their lives because their GLC is messed up. And if you want to fix your GLC, all you have to do for free is click the link down below. I hope y'all enjoyed the video. I'm out. Yeah.